And hello everyone, welcome back to another Bootstrap tutorial. So you may notice when you go onto a website like Xhamster, I meant to say an older looking website, that usually if it contains a video or a lot of content, you have the option to navigate pages. For example, you're on page 1 and you want to go to page 5, then you can click page 5. Or if you don't find a video good enough, you usually go up until page 28 or whatnot. Now we can do the same, and that is called pagination. It allows you to move between pages, and Bootstrap kind of has something built in for it already. We can create a UL tag for an unordered list and then just give it a class of pagination. Then in here, every item will be our pagination. So we can say ally.page item for pagination item. And in that ally, we can have an A tag with the class page link, because this will contain the link. And it will not go anywhere, and we can just say page 1. Or this can be previous, because sometimes you want to go to the previous page. 1, 2, 3, and then next. And in here we can of course go 1, 2, 3, and next. And as simple as that, we have created our pagination, which usually would be used to navigate between pages. So here we'll go to a previous page, we click that, go to page 1, page 2, page 3, and then next. Now usually the user won't know what page they're on unless they look at the URL. So instead, what you can do is you can say which one should be active. And let's say they're on page 2 and you say active. Now they'll know they are on page 2. And I gave it to the wrong class. See, that's what happens when you don't clean up your code. Let's just do that. That's much easier to see. We want to add it after page item. There we go. And now you'll know you're on page 2 because it is the active one currently there. Now sometimes they're already on page 1. If they're on page 1, then previous should be disabled. And we've already learned about this one, so we can just say disabled. And now it's disabled because they're currently on page 1, which is neat. Now sometimes you want to make it nice and big because the people you might be marketing to or be trying to show your pagination to might be a little bit old and can't see well or something like that. Well, then you go pagination LG, and this will make the pagination super big. And then of course you have SM to make it super small, because sometimes you want it to be a bit more minimalistic and not take up that much space. Now usually you'll have your videos at the top and your pagination will not be aligned to the left side. That's just weird. I don't know anyone that does that. So we'll justify it. Justify content and then center, and this will center it instead of having it here at the left, which is just gross. And you can of course say end if you want it to be at the right, or start if you are one of those that prefer it at the start. Yeah. Okay, now that is for the bottom pagination that you'll usually use, but you also have a pagination that you often use at the top of a page. But this one is usually what you'd see at the bottom, but at the top you usually have like a pathway of where you're going to. Well, that's still possible, and you can make it look different. So here we'll still have, instead of pagination, we can change this to breadcrumb, because it's almost like Hansel and Gretel, where they left breadcrumbs to tell them where they were coming from. And instead of page, we can change this to breadcrumb. And we don't really need link anymore, so I'm just going to remove all of these links because they're only cluttering up the screen. There we go. And now you have a pagination, but that has like slashes next to show you where you are. For example, usually you won't have a previous here, so we can actually remove that from here. And let me just go like this. Okay, now that's easier to see. Now here you could say videos, cosplay, And I'm not going to go more because I can't think of another thing you might have in here. And then Suite Cosplay GF. And now you'll know you're in Suite Cosplay GF. But it doesn't really look like that, so it's kind of difficult to see. So here you can just add active, and this will make it look like the active one. And you should of course just remove your A tag, otherwise it's going to still register it as a link. And I know if you want to go back to videos, you just click here and it will take you back to videos. If you want to go to the cosplay section again, you can go to cosplay. And here, that's where you currently are at. This might be even something different, like let's say maybe an ID of some sort. But yeah, that's just an example of something you usually see at the top instead of the bottom. But that is also navigation or some sort of pagination. So page navigation, pagination. And yeah, thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all again in the next Bootstrap tutorial.